Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Ovid Velez, and with me, it's the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, good to be with you. Like that PlayStation shirt you're rocking. Hope that the checks are coming in the mail
But
still.
the DualSense
Um,
Edge is on its way.
okay. You heard it directly here,
No,
guys.
it's not. Sony, come on.
It's
Sonny,
okay.
what
It's
are you doing?
okay.
Sonny, you don't want me to make you a thing like the one we're gonna show
Eh,
later today. You don't
No,
want me to do that.
no. You got Jim Ryan's phone number and in your phone. Yeah, you're texting him right now, right?
Gold Shuhei. Make it
Yes.
happen. Yeah, he's still around.
He's still
Yeah,
around.
yeah. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Since we last spoke, haven't done anything too crazy. I did get to go out to the parks. I've been out a bit over this last weekend. Went to Animal Kingdom and hopped over to Hollywood Studios. So here in Central Florida, it's one of the nice benefits of being a pass holder. You know, you could just jump in and keep going. Had a few
Now
family
you
with me
can.
that wanted to go. Now I
Now you
can.
can. Yeah.
Now you can. Exactly.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob, Robert.
Robert.
But I will,
Oh, Robert.
Robert. Yes. But it's pretty interesting when I think about Animal Kingdom because it's one of the parks that I really like. I think it's a really special park because of what it's trying to do, where it's like it's not a zoo, but
Not
it
a
kind of
zoo. Remember
is.
those ads from the
Yes,
early 2000s? Yeah,
yes.
not a
Like
zoo.
it's not a zoo, right? But it's also kind of is. And it's a theme park, but it kind of isn't. Like I don't know how to describe it. And
It's
I
very
kind of
unique.
put it
It is
it's
very very very
it's very
unique. Yeah.
unique, and that's what I like about it.
Hmm.
And I would compare it in some ways to Epcot. How Epcot is one of the least theme parks because it's like it's more of like it's not really fully a theme park. Kind of feels like a mall to some
I mean,
extent, but also it's a little bit
it's
of an
going to
experience and a festival.
yeah, it's going into that direction now. That it feels more like a park now, I think, versus
Yes.
before. It did feel
Yes.
more of again a hybrid science center slash
Yeah.
theme park. Yeah,
It almost felt like it could have been Disney Springs, but also like education, like to some
yeah,
extent,
yeah.
and
True, true.
culture, you know.
Yeah,
But anyways, I say all that to say, like, I really like that park. I really do love Animal Kingdom. But what bothers me the most is that like after 5 p.m. you can't do anything. Like you're trying to
oh
like
yeah.
it's like the worst park to go to for the night. So
It's
they have their hours will be like 8, 9 p.m. it closes. And it's like, but why are you gonna be here just to do Avatar and
yeah.
Dinosaur?
That's what it
That's
is.
it.
I mean, so my understanding, and you probably know this already, but it's sundown animals get antsy,
Right.
and they have to basically take them to their pens, and you know,
Wh- Which I completely agree with. And
yeah.
I understand it's the animal thing, like totally respect that. Like, that's probably what keeps them around and they didn't get hit like SeaWorld did, right?
Yeah,
But
and
what I
I'm
will
sure
s-
that come on, you're not gonna get the hippos in a pen. Hippos stay there. It's like
no.
so that right,
Yeah.
but I know that
Yeah.
there's certain animals I know for sure, right, that elephants, rhinos, and lions go into pens, at least from the
Yeah.
safari area. Yeah,
Open knows, open knows.
yeah,
But I will say like that's fine. I think that's good, but I feel like they need to come up with a solution for that park. That's when they did the Pandora thing, that was great. Because at night it's gorgeous and it's a really nice area and has the restaurant, it has the two rides, like it's really good. Um, they just need another extra thing now with the whole Zootopia thing, right? That's what they're doing,
the
right? By the
rumor
dinosaur
it's
area,
Zootopia.
supposedly.
Yeah,
Like if that's the thing that I hope that they get it right. Because if they get that right, I think that could be enough. Other thing I would also suggest to that park is a night show again. They used to have like the fountain. There was like a Lion King fountain thing they did right before they shut down that I got
yeah,
to see.
yeah.
That was actually pretty good. I liked it. Like it was like everyone gathered around the Asia,
The
thing
lake
and
thing. Yeah.
the lake, and it was a good time. I would like to see them bring that back. Whatever they do with the Zootopia supposed area thing over there, Make sure that it's really enough of an experience. And then last but not least, if you're gonna have the park open 2 hours, 3 hours after the animals are sleeping, then do shows. Why is Nemo done at 5 o'clock?
Oh, I see.
There's no, you
Festival
know
of
what I
the
mean?
Lion
Why
King
why is
and
the Lion King sleep like in the jungle in my jungle? The lion sleeps tonight. It just doesn't make sense for them to do that.
yeah,
That's
I
my
agree.
Animal Kingdom rant. I say that I started off saying it because I actually really do like that park. Like I think it's so much fun. It's a great time. But that's like that's something that they gotta get around to and figure out because they can do a lot more. I feel like it's one of the parks that you spend money and you have to just know you're not gonna like people do the park hopping. I hear people all the time, that you can tell they're new people, and I'll even sometimes interrupt them and be
Yeah.
like, "Don't do that. That's actually a bad plan." Like, "Oh, the last park we're going to today is Animal Kingdom." I'm like, "Don't.
No,
There's
that's the
nothing
first
there.
one you gotta do.
You need to start at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
you
the
end your
first one you
day
gotta
there.
do. Yeah,
You end your day at Magic Kingdom.
yeah, yeah.
You don't, or Epcot. You don't end your day at,
Correct. Yeah,
you know. It's
that's
just
the
they
that's the
they
part that you
gotta
gotta
get that.
take as early as possible, dude. Like
Yes,
drop it if you can. Like so that's the part.
seriously,
Like if there's one
seriously.
park in Disney that you have to go, you have to have make the actual effort and get up
Yes,
early and go. It's okay
it's Animal Kingdom. Yeah.
because you can't like you can still get like even if you get at noon at Magic Kingdom, you can still do like a ton of
Oh,
crap,
100%.
dude.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
you'll be fine. But here, no, man, you gotta start early.
I would say any of the parks, noon at Epcot, noon at Hollywood, and Magic
Yeah,
Kingdom, you'll be fine.
but
That's
Animal
the one
Kingdom,
park
you can't.
animal you can't do that.
Yeah, I
Don't
agree.
don't don't go for the night.
I totally agree.
Um, but
So I
I,
don't
I,
I don't
I,
want to go on a tangent. I mean, because I didn't have it on the notes, but did you see that uh that Bob and Josh were touring Epcot?
they were, and
Yeah.
I wished I was there because I'm like I would have loved to talk to Bob for sure.
Hey, we got a few things that we need to
Oh, I definitely would love to
discuss.
talk to him. Yep.
So what excites me, right, is that they actually went into Journey into Imagination because for years people have been clamoring. Like I've been, you know me, I've been very vocal about it. Like every time the topic comes up about Journey into Imagination, I tell you how trash that ride is right now, and how I wish they would make the original back. That's the rumor, right? Rumor is that they are planning to bring back like the original ride enhanced with like modern effects. Yeah, boy can dream. The
Yeah.
the 12
Now we'll
year old
see.
in me got really excited.
It was awesome to see him though, see them both walking around. Like
Yeah.
that's such a great couldn't see that with the last guy. But what I will also add like that in. But what I also say, like the reason I decided to go when I did is I went the same day the Splash Mountain was shut down.
Mm,
Not because I wanted to go on Splash Mountain,
3.5 hours.
you know, but
Yeah.
because everyone being at Splash Mountain, it was dude, you could go on anything at any of the other parks. So that's why I
Dude,
was like, well, what am
Rise
I
of the
gonna do?
Resistance was a 30-minute wait.
I was there.
I
I
checked,
rode
dude.
Rise of the Resistance and it was 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Everyone was at a,
it wasn't even 25 minutes.
yeah. Yeah.
Even when I got through, it was
Dude,
right to the
everyone was
front.
at Magic Kingdom. We checked
I
because I reminded my daughters. My daughter was like, "Let's check the lines, see how they are." And we checked, and we was like, "Oh man, 3.5 hours." And it was 3.5 hours for Splash Mountain all day, right? But then
yeah.
she jumped over to Studios and checked, and I was like, "This can't be real." And she showed me the app, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What?"
It
Everyone's
was
at Magic Kingdom.
amazing. I did Rise of Resistance.
Nice,
Millennium Smugglers Run, 5 minutes. You walk right
nice.
to the front. Uh
Star Tours,
I
no way.
Star Tours, no wait. I did Slinky Dog, 10 minutes.
Wow, dude.
it was a great day to end the day at there.
That's
Listen,
incredible, dude.
I'm not trying to hate on people who felt the way they felt about Splash Mountain. They sent it off. That's their thing. You know how I feel about it. I've said it on the show.
Oh my
I said
god.
what I said on the show. Listen, if you mad you're mad about that. It's the same ride, guys. It's rethemed.
Yeah.
You're exposing yourselves, but that's another
You-
conversation.
It is not it's funny, man. This is good. This is good. Like because
Yeah.
this is like totally like conversational, right?
Yep,
We
absolutely.
didn't have this in our notes. So I was actually thinking about it this past week. It's like what I find incredible about Splash Mountain, right, is that even when it was built, when it was open in what 93, right?
Yeah.
Um even back then, Son of the South was already blacklisted.
You can buy it,
Like you
yeah.
couldn't buy it, right? So like, who came up with the idea, right? And I mean, who greenlit it? Michael. I mean, Michael Eisner's out of control, right? And I don't blame him,
Yeah.
because it's a good concept, right? And by that time, the movie was already hitting enough where you could sort of get away with it. And again, there's none of the context and none of the stuff that's in the movie is in the ride, right? The ride
No,
sits on its own, right? On its own merit, apart from the movie. But even back then, right? It's like coming out with a concept. It's like, oh, we should do a ride based on this thing that's like blacklisted already. It's very interesting. Like, how did it happen, right?
I 100% agree. But like, you know what? It's a different time. Like I don't I actually like that part of it. It's like it's a bizarre time in history. There's a lot of discussion around that. I wasn't
Totally.
there then, so I wasn't there saying I'm gonna make that decision of green lighting this ride. That wasn't my place. Now that I have a voice and I'm sitting here on No Load Time podcast, I'm saying, look, people were so passionate to the point that Obed, did you see them selling
The
water?
water, yeah.
First of all, how do I know that that water actually came from there? Obed,
It's
I got
like
some
it's
water.
like the gamer girl bathwater. How do you know it's real? Right?
This is from Splash Mountain, Obed.
Drink it, Joel. You're
From
gonna
Splash Mountain. There's not
hallucinate.
a tag on it. I mean, come on.
Hydraulic
But
fluid in it or whatever.
it the fact that we're getting to the point like that makes you there's a part of Disney love that
Yeah,
I absolutely have as a kid in me.
yeah.
But then there's the weird people. I don't know, man.
See, do you
Uh,
see? Do you see that? Do you see that Tokyo Disney banned vlogging from the park?
yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
man. We
'Cause
need it.
it's getting out of hand.
Like a lot of experiences have been ruined because of vloggers and all this like YouTube people. Like I saw, and all right, let's not give them right. Like because if you're like a legit
For
like
sure.
DFB and all
Well,
ears.
Disney using that.
Oh yeah, Disney. Yeah, exactly. So if you're legit, that's good, right? But anyone with a camera now is a Disney expert and go to the
It's
parks and
true.
get thousands of hits on YouTube. It's like all right, whatever. But and it's yeah, it's
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 weird.
it's something else. It's weird, yeah.
So I still have to say, like, Obed, I bet you, I'm telling you right now, I believe, I don't know this for a fact, but my opinion is that just based on just because it's simply an upgrade of new technology that's going to be put
Theming,
into
yeah.
this Tiana, a Bayou ride,
Mm-hmm.
just based on that alone, that it's going to be better. You're not going to have the weird gator's eye because it's the same track, the
Yeah, yeah,
same
yeah,
drops you're going to have,
yeah.
the same, right, whatever. The scenes are going to be
It's
different
gonna be better
because
because they're gonna
got
upgrade the
different
sound
songs.
system. They're gonna upgrade everything. Yeah.
Whether you like Tiana or not, that's your business. That's whatever. But I'm just saying, it's the same thing. This level of anger is so bizarre to me. I don't understand.
It's
And I
dumb.
bet you it's going to be a fine ride. I don't know this for a fact. I could change my opinion. And these people are not going to they're not going to give the audacity to say that it's better. They're going to have to suck at their pride and be like, it's bad
Like, where's the
because
well,
it's Tiana. I
bro?
don't like it.
There's people still angry about Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Ride's been gone for like almost 20 years.
Okay, boomer.
I mean,
Listen,
Mr. Toad is the superior ride. But eh, eh, I'm not gonna. Yeah, but I'm not crying about it.
that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
explain to
yeah,
you. Like, there's things that I liked
yeah.
from different times and different
It's
things
like
that have
Horizons at
come and
Epcot,
gone.
right? Horizons is 1,000 times better than Mission Space. I'm not crying about it.
Yeah,
I will
no.
cry about Journey into Imagination though, because
Oh,
it's
bad.
trash.
Oh, bad.
You guys gotta fix it.
Oh,
You guys
man.
gotta fix it.
No, no, not to go off too much more. I am a little concerned about this Moana thing.
I
Because
am too.
it's in a weird place,
Yep.
first of all. Like it just when I walk past it in the front, it feels very misplaced. Like it should not have been in that location. especially having like literally like spaceship Earth right behind it, and you're supposed to feel like you're in this Polynesian, environment. Um, it does feel a little odd.
Yeah,
And then on top of that, that's not a ride, that it's a
it's a
walkthrough.
walkthrough experience.
What type of walkthrough are we talking about? I don't know, but I will reserve judgment till I get to try it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if I do renew my pass, which I'm leaning towards, I'll write Tron. We'll talk more about that. Don't want to rant anymore. Oh, bit, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. It's been a rough week, man. I've been dealing with really bad allergies since Monday. So it kind of like my face has been burning all week and my eyes watery. Yeah, I was swollen one day. Yeah, it's I've been struggling with that, and then very very busy with a ton of stuff. But over the weekend, Joel, I paid a visit to our friends over at Cybertron Games. Went to their Winter Park location, which their inventory is much superior to their other store at that location. It is also much superior to the store that I have close by where I live. That store is good, but they just don't have a ton of stuff anymore. Like it's been ransacked. Um, but Cybertron, they did have a ton of stuff. So I ended up grabbing a jewel, a masterpiece of gaming, sir. And I grabbed a copy of Shenmue for Dreamcast.
Wow,
Completing box, really good price, man.
nice.
So, I've been looking for it for a while, and I was like, I should get a copy because it's like if I own a Dreamcast, I know, and I have my Dreamcast and I refurbished it myself, so I should own. And I kind of felt like I needed to own this game, so I was like, they had it, and it was better than the prices that I've seen online. It's like, I'll take it, dude. So yeah, man, it's a completing box, and it even has like okay. So fun fact, like Shenmue came out with what they call the passport, which is basically a disc that shows you how to play because it's the first like sort of like open world game, and they had to teach you how to play. So,
Wow.
um, but yeah, it we tested it. I played about an hour and a half with my daughter on Saturday, and the controls are. Whew, we've come a long way, Joe. We've come a long way. It's rough. It's rough. It's still good, right? Because of all the discovery and all that, and you get to talk to people and get clues and take notes and all that. It's so cool, right? But it's like going back, and the game still looks very good. Like that game came out, 22 years ago, 23 years ago, I think. 22 years ago, and it still looks really, really good. So I was like, oh man, this still look like this was pushing the Dreamcast. So yeah, I'm happy with that purchase, and they had a few more Dreamcast games that I really want to get, so I'm probably gonna go back soon. So shout out to
Nice.
Cybertron Games. I also had a scare because um, I was cleaning this room, right, and I noticed that the PS3 had a blinking red light on it. I haven't
Oh
used it in a
boy.
while, but it was like the power light was blinking. I was like, no, it died. So I turn it on, and it turns on. I was like, okay, it's not dead, right? So it's fine. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna run the update. They had a pending update. Run the update. I'm gonna just shut it down, and then I'm good, right? Gonna leave it like that. Turn it off and stop blinking, right? Come back the next day, lights blinking again. I was like, what's going on? So I unplugged it and left it unplugged. I was like, okay. So I gotta figure this out. I did a little bit of research, and uh, most everyone's saying it's like, oh, if it's blinking red and you haven't turned it on in a while, that means that it's probably dirty, and it's something's flagging on the because if it's turning on fine and it's not crashing, and then that means it's something, it's probably dirty, and something's not liking the way it is, right? So I took it apart. I popped the lid out, took the power supply out, took the fan out, and to my surprise, right, it was dirty. But I mean, I've had this thing for since 2009. I used it for hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
Before because I got my PS4 late, Like I got my PS4 in 2015, so I mean I've used it for a long time, and even after that I used it. I went back and used it. I used it with my daughter. Um, so to my surprise, it wasn't that dirty. Like it was dirty, but it's not that bad. So it's like I've seen worse PS5s already out there on on the internet. Right? It's nuts. So yeah, I washed it, cleaned it, took all the fan, wiped it off, the air can. Did the same thing with the power supply. Alcohol, everything's nice and clean and shiny. Put it back together, and I ran it for about 40 minutes. So it's like I need a game that will make it like run. And I remember that I've gotten a copy of Virtua Fighter 5 at Cybertron when we went like a couple of years ago.
Yep, yep.
And I was like, okay, this is pretty good because I remember when I used to play this game on my OG PS3, it sounded like it wanted to take off. So I played it for about 40 minutes. No problems, man. It was like, this is good. It's
Nice.
working. Let's turn it off. It's not blinking. So I'm hoping it stays like that.
Yeah, I've
I
got
don't.
my PS3 looking at me right here,
Yeah,
right now,
I
dude.
I didn't want to decommission it. So my controllers are busted. Like my controllers are not charging.
Oh yeah,
But
the
but I
battery's
did
probably
yeah, but I
gone.
did research, and battery like a 2 pack at Amazon it's like $15. It's for
Oh, okay.
a
So you
two.
could manually go in and replace the
Yeah,
battery
exactly.
and
I can open it up and replace the battery, so I don't have a problem with that. So I'm probably gonna end up doing that just because I
yeah.
need the controller. So they're not charging. I have to keep it plugged in basically. Um, but they're in good shape, so it kind of stinks. But yeah, man,
Wow.
it was quite the event with that
That's an
PS3 taking
adventure.
it apart.
Oh my
And the
goodness.
Dreamcast, like I think, right, it's like I'm late to the party when it comes to Saturn. It's like I'm not gonna be able to get whatever I had for the Saturn back. It's it's too much of an investment, and I'm not gonna be able to attain that. But for the Dreamcast, there's still a lot of stuff out there that I really want to get. So I may start a little Dreamcast collection. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, cool, man. Good stuff. So we have a few things. Let's how are we doing on time? Because we kind of like
I know.
yeah, we got a few minutes. We got a few minutes.
We get,
We
yeah.
can start before talking about our
Yeah.
past. Well, I mean, let's get the main one out of the way. It's like the DualSense Edge launched today, and impressions are very positive. Like I've seen a few impressions, unboxings, and uh, a few Reddit threads about it, and overall, everyone seems pretty happy with it, and it feels really good. And I've seen a few of like, oh, I don't think I can ever go back to like the regular one after just you know using this thing, and a few people's like you can feel that it's better just by holding it,
Wow.
that sort of thing. So yeah, it's out today, $200, and yeah, I mean, I'm probably not gonna grab it. This is probably not the product for me. I'm waiting to see. I'm hoping that I don't have to invest in another fight sticks because I really want to get into Street Fighter 6 when it comes out. So we'll see. But yeah, it's out. Impressions are positive. I don't know if you maybe either slightly interested in it just for novelty purposes.
No, it does catch my attention. Like I like nice things. What can I say? And it does look like one of those things that I would love to
Connoisseur
get.
fine things.
I'd love to get my hands on that. But I will say that it's not something that I'm gonna run out because the price tag on it, which I'm not saying it's unworthy of, but it's just something that's what makes me go, am I hardcore enough for this? But
Yeah.
someone like you, Obed, I could see where I could see someone like you actually would pick something up like this where you're gonna spend a significant amount of hours using it. And I think that's what's right. Like they're targeting the right consumer. And if reviews are already positive, that's great. Curious to see how it does sales when we enter into January of 2024, when we're a year out on this thing. I think it will be interesting to revisit it because to me it seems like it's a good product.
Yeah. Um, I'm interested to see if they're gonna do any other colors. It seems like they already got their colors set for PS5, and they already got the lids and whatnot. Oh, by the way, I was like,
Yeah.
I contemplated getting like the black lids. I was like, yeah, it looks fine with the whites, whatever. Um, and Yeah, it looks like it's a nice, add-on to the PS5. So, like, if you're really into like your twitchy shooters, your War Zones and your Apex and your Fortnite, this is something that you may get into, right? Um, Casual, like maybe even Gran Turismo, right? Because you can set the paddles to like shift. You can actually have like shifters, and even for like Gran Turismo, this would be a good add-on. It would totally enhance your game, I think. But for yeah, like for me, I'm into like the single player stuff, and yeah, I really don't pay competitively, and or online, and the only thing that I pay competitively is fighting games. I have no need for the extra buttons. I have a Fire Stick, so I don't think it makes much sense for me personally. But I know that there is definitely a market for it. So
For sure.
yeah. So let's see how well they do. Joe, we got an Xbox surprise of
Surprise.
sorts. Um, and I'm gonna put this out there, right? And because we've been very critical of Microsoft, the drought at the Game Awards was quite palpable. So they had a little event. They announced a few things, a couple updates. I think that the showstopper was Hi-Fi Rush. And hear me out.
Okay.
This is the most creative thing that I've seen come out to Xbox in a very long time.
Hmm.
So it's an anime style, uh, cell shaded graphics, rhythm action game, and like you don't really see that, right? I know that this is not the game for the Xbox core. Like I can see a lot of the hardcore old school Xbox guys saying, "What is this anime trash? What is this rhythm thing that you're giving me? I want Gears and Gears Force and Halo. Where's Starfield, right? Where's Starfield? Missing in
Right.
action. We still haven't seen. I don't know. That game's not coming out. So, oh, did I say something? Okay. All right. So, um, yeah, it's good that they actually gave, um, you know, Tango GameWorks the opportunity to actually create something different and not horror related and spooky ghosts or scary zombies, and they did something like this. So I appreciate it. I really appreciate how different it is to what we're used to seeing from Xbox. I mean, Tango is part of Microsoft technically, like they're owned by Bethesda. Um, although that's not a done deal, but this
Yeah.
let's let's say that it's gonna happen, so it doesn't really matter. But I do appreciate that it's different, right? And it's fresh and it's refreshing. Again, I know that this could be divisive to a lot of Xbox fans, and I could say rightfully so, but at the same time, right, is that they cry about not having games, but then they give them new stuff that's fresh and interesting, and they don't like it, or they don't support it, right? Um, it's quirky. Like I wish this game was on PlayStation. It's on PC. I may even check it out, right? So,
Okay.
uh, it's one of those that I could go out of my way and take a look at on PC, honestly. So
Yeah, I think like when I finally got a chance to look at it, you brought it to my attention, and after you brought it to my attention, then I'm scrolling through like Instagram and I start seeing ads for it and stuff. So it's getting promoted for sure.
yeah, because it came
It's
out
not
like yesterday. It came out the same day.
right, right. And it's one of those things that like I don't think they are promoting it to the hardcore. They're promoting it as like this is something that fits our brand now and something that we're trying to, yeah. So,
No, yeah, it's on Game Pass, of course, and it's only $30. So it's on the
oh,
yeah, it's on the Xbox app
there you go.
on PC.
There you
So
go. But I do feel like I feel like they haven't done anything wrong here, and I don't necessarily blame people for not going crazy about it because it's not anything crazy. But like, I think that there is something about giving them credit for what they are doing right and not just clowning on them. Like you said, we've talked about 'em before in the past in various lights and saying, "Where's the games? Where's the games?" Like stuff like this is a step in the right, is a huge step in the right direction.
Totally.
Well, it seems like a baby step, but because of the history that we've seen over, really the last two generations, I would argue, you started to see a trend come in where you were going, "What's going on here?" Um, let's see them start to trend now in an opposite direction where this becomes a ripple effect. Hopefully, now that they purchased studios that can deliver interesting, unique, exclusive content like this. Let's get back to that, exclusive Xbox content, right?
Exclusive.
There you go. There you go. I wish we had a little audio.
Yeah, a sound box or whatever.
Awesome. But no, I mean it's interesting. Again, it's not something that makes me go, oh, I need an Xbox. But for those who already have this, great. If I have an Xbox, yeah, I'm gonna play this.
Yeah, yeah, it looks cool. Like it's the kind of game like it's the kind of game that speaks to me,
Mhm.
right? And I think that's what Xbox is missing right now is this sort of the game that calls to the more like old school PlayStation, Nintendo, Sega guys that are still gaming, and bring them in because they've concentrated in bringing in, doing the first person shooter, racer shooter again kind of thing. But when the Xbox 360, they did take some risks, like they Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey and all these games that appealed to JRPG fans and fans of like PlayStation, right? And that's how they were able to get part of that fan base to come over because like, oh, there's like Xbox is having like a deal with Square Enix and Blue Dragon, and we're having new games that are not going to be in PlayStation. So yeah, this is good. I think this is good. And finally we were talking about Xbox, which is great. Like I haven't
It's
we
fantastic.
haven't talked about Xbox in a very long time, probably since the series came out.
Yeah.
Because there hasn't been anything. And
It's always trying to make predictions of what they're going to do, but I did start off the year and I can go back to my predictions, dude. I did start off from the last thing. I said like Xbox is going to do something.
yeah,
They're going to make desperate moves in 2023.
yeah,
I
'cause
didn't
they
say it'd be
gotta, yeah,
bad. So I do still have high expectations that before this year ends, Obed, 2023, you're going to see them do some things that might shock a lot of people, hopefully for the better, hopefully for the positive. So.
yeah, yeah, totally will. We'll see what happens with that. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Jolene, kind of like bummer news. Nintendo is plans to boost Switch output to meet demands for Tears of the Kingdom. Man, it's like why don't they just do what they need to do and just give us the right console right now? The Switch is gonna be what, 6 years old in a couple of months? Maybe next month?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. They should really like. I know that they are looking into it, and I know that they are working on it, but it's it's kind of like a bummer, right? It's like I was counting on my prediction, and now they're throwing this wrench. I mean, I could still be true, right? I mean, I could be right about it, and we're gonna have Mario Odyssey 2 in October with a new console. Who knows, right? Like if that's the case, dude, I'll totally buy it. But um,
But if not, then no. But you got to eat your shrimp on the ship.
dude, I was like, I'm not looking forward to it. I got until the last episode in December, dude.
That's it,
So
bro.
it's like I still have 11 months, so it could happen. But
It's gonna be like a gummy or something.
yeah,
A fake.
but
Oh man.
not too excited.
Um.
But yeah, yeah. What do you think, man?
Yeah, like it's cool that they're trying to meet the demand. That they're trying to say like we're gonna pop out some more of these things and make sure that we keep these in the consumer's hands. It just shows you that they would rather stick with what's working than try and bring change. I think most people assume change because, well, like you look at what the competitors are doing and they can't do what they're doing because the hardware itself literally cannot support it. But has that ever really been in Nintendo's nature to really push something out to meet up with its to meet with its competitors from a maybe a graphical standpoint or
Bro,
a cross platform?
they
DS, I
six
mean that
16-bit is the best example, right? They rode the Super
yeah.
Nintendo all the way out to the N64, and meanwhile the Genesis was fumbling around with the Sega CD and the 32X, and then the Saturn came out, and then the Super Nintendo was still like going head to head with the freaking Saturn,
That's
dude.
that's what's crazy.
Yeah,
So like that's the thing. They know what they got, and they're not gonna let literally that they because you can't play Call of Duty on this thing. Like they're not gonna let that stop them from doing what they're doing. And it's interesting because to me, I would if I'm a business person, I would say, well, we can do what we're doing, but why not like add in the ability to have these other games on our system and make money from it like we've talked about before, maybe doing a deal with Xbox where you have Game Pass on it or something, right? But they really are saying we don't need it and we don't care and we're going to keep doing what we're doing, and it's a very interesting thing. I don't think it's going to lead to their demise. I don't think it's
no, no,
going
no,
to
no,
be a
no, no.
negative thing because if anything it's just showing it's so successful
Yeah,
that they keep popping these things out. The demand is there.
yep.
But I mean, they're not going to go the exact same life cycle also as PS6 when that comes and Xbox, you know, One SX 360, whatever they're going to call the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
well, according
they're
according to what the article that's on Nintendo Live,
yeah.
their fiscal year goes through April.
Mm,
So, I mean, it could be that they just want to go ahead and produce whatever they can before the fiscal year, right? And then
right.
they'll have more than likely another plan after that. Um, it's so and like I contemplated the OLED, right? Like it's so nice. Like
It's super nice.
that screen is super nice, man. And
Yeah.
everything looks so good and shiny. Um, but then I was playing Paper Mario with my daughter, and she undocked it. Right, we've been playing on the TV because that's like 98% of the Switch play that I do. It's on TV.
Same.
So um, we undocked it, and we were playing it undocked for a little bit, and I was like, this is like perfectly fine. Like I really don't need like the OLED. It's like yeah, the screen's shiny and nice, and the white Joy Cons are really cool, but you know, like I really don't need it. I mean, this is serviceable. This is still works for as a device. So that's if we bought a Switch Lite, right? I bought a Switch Lite for my daughter, but there, if Nintendo wants me to buy another Switch for me, right? I'm not gonna move for that from that to the OLED just because, right? It's like there's not enough there for me, right? It's like, oh, it has more storage, but I already got an large SD card on it, so it doesn't really matter. And you gotta give me more. You gotta give
Yeah.
me more, and you don't have to go too crazy, right, with a screen and have a 1080p screen. You can keep it 1020 and then docked. That's how you get better graphics. But you gotta get me to buy another one. that's Nintendo.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I want to buy another one, but not the ones you have in the market right now. So that's how I feel about it. But it's interesting. I mean, we'll see if that leak that came out for the that Zelda themed Switch are
Yeah.
true, which they look
Bloomberg's
legit.
talking about it,
Yeah,
and
looks legit. So we'll see. And then like there's again there's supposed to be like a big Nintendo Direct before the movie comes out, and they're gonna just like blow based on rumors, right? They're ready to blow everyone's socks off. So with that Direct, so we'll see. Um, Tangent because I didn't have it on the notes, but I saw an article. I can't remember the website. It was a Chinese website, so take it with a huge grain of salt.
that's fine.
The rumor is that there's a PS5 Slim and a PS5 Pro coming out this year. So I don't like. There's no like specific details on the Pro, right? Based on like there's stuff out there that's gonna be like native 8K and all this like other
Mm.
stuff, right? Um, but the Pro the Slim I believe it for sure.
But Obed, like, it makes sense because the PS5 is a big boy, bro.
Yeah,
My thing is
the
huge.
thing
Like the
is
disc,
big.
you get the disc version, whatever. Thing's
Yeah,
massive.
yep.
I don't know how they're gonna slim that thing down, what parts they're gonna shift around, but it's gonna be good, positive for sure.
Yeah. So there's rumors that, that's going to be a thing. I mean, again, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, the Pro, that I believe that there's, there could be a redesigned box this year. I doubt it about the Pro because this year is going to be 3 years, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, by the third year, they usually do the revisions because that's how they did PS3 was 3 years,
Right.
PS4 was 3 years. And then, PS4 was 3 years and it came out with a Slim and a Pro.
Right.
So
So I could see a slim is fine. As the pro is like interesting. I don't know if we're ready for it yet,
we're not ready
but
for it. Like there's no native games utilize like make the PS5 chug. Like
yeah.
yeah, like well, I posted that video with DMC5 and it was chugging, but I was playing with on whatever that legendary night mode where you get a billion enemies on the screen and particle effects and crazy stuff happening. But like
It's anomaly.
but God, yeah, exactly. Because God of War, like again, dude, God of War with VRR, it just looks so good. It looks incredible, man. And other games that like Horizon, like Ratchet and Clank, you play those games, it's like, yo, it's like, how can you get better than this stuff? This is incredible. So, um, yeah, I don't know if we're ready for it, but Slim, sure, I can see that. PSA Best Buy still has PS5s in stock. So I talked to a coworker. It's like, hey, so I remember talking to you about this. I'm not a huge gamer, but I went ahead and bought PS5 because Best Buy had them. I was like, oh,
Wow.
okay, cool.
See? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that was pretty good. Um, yeah, and that Dead Space remake, it's gotten really good reviews, so that seems to be doing pretty good. Not I can't say the same for Forspoken. Fortunately, I dodged that bullet because I was going to pre-order that game
Yeah.
and I didn't. So um, yeah. Also, PSA Persona 4 Golden is available for everything now. So play that game. Like, do yourselves a favor, play that game. That game is incredible. One of my favorite games of all time, and I highly, highly recommend it. So, you guys should check it out. Joel, it's time for our segment. WB, what are you doing? Joel, tell us what's going on in the WBs.
I love that so much, Obed. Well done, well done. The Oscar goes to Obed.
Yeah, I
Um,
used my limited knowledge of video editing to create that masterpiece.
oh my God. Well, here's the thing about DC. Every time we have a DC, what are you doing? It's because we're literally asking ourselves, what are they doing? But this is one of the few times where Obed, it's just fun to poke at them. But we all saw the writing on the wall with this one, right? This kind of wasn't obvious. Doom Patrol and Titans are going to end with season 4. Both series have been are wrapped, coming to an end. This is interesting, just because obviously uh, both shows got moved from their original house, which was going to be the DC Universe Online. I subscribed to that in 2020, before the whole HBO Max thing. At that time, I got to use it for a good few months, and that's actually how I watched like Swamp Thing, a few other shows, whatever, right? Um, and I remember with Doom Patrol, people were so excited about it, and people loved that show. Oh, but I thought it was terrible. Like I
Oh,
gotta be
really?
honest with you, I did
Because
not
yeah, a
like
lot of
it.
people liked it. Yeah,
A lot of people liked it. I did not think it was that good. So that show being canceled, I'm like, that's fine. It probably was for, in my opinion, a minority of people that if you like that, good for you. I'm just saying I don't think it appealed to a wider audience. So I feel like it's kind of like, and not to go off on a separate thing, but did you see the whole statement from the Netflix CEO where he said every show that we've canceled never performed well or something? We never
yeah,
canceled a
yeah.
performing well
I
show,
did
right?
see that. Yeah,
And you know what? Like, I believe him. I believe him because, just because you have something that is trending on Twitter does not represent the masses. Like, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Well, because 20,000 people tweeted about this, that represents now 20 million people that are watching a show? No, that doesn't. That just represents a more vocal group of people on there. And I think people would be real surprised about the actual interest around these shows. Now, with that being said, Titans, I actually think it's a blessing in disguise that they ended it because I think the show was on a trajectory of going down the CW route where it was
yeah.
like some weird stuff's going to happen because they're just going to keep writing to keep cashing checks that you just don't know what the real end game was.
Yeah.
I like that the show was not a freak of the week thing. Every season had its own arc. I liked
It
that.
was
I think
self-contained. Yeah,
the acting was good. Sometimes so good that unfortunately characters had scandals
like so,
behind the scenes.
some of the design
But
choices yeah, like there were some choices right that were questionable
sure,
from the beginning, right?
right.
Um, and no, I'm not. I don't want to.
Remind me after the podcast and mention
Yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
about this. I got something I gotta tell
Oh,
you.
okay, okay, okay. Like there were some
But
questionable, choices
yeah,
since from the beginning, right? But I gave it a chance, right? I was one of those who's
same.
like, oh, this is you know, I didn't think it was good or necessarily good, right?
Yeah.
But it was actually fun, and you can tell that there was an effort.
Yes.
So I appreciate
Yes.
that, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Like there were stories being told. It wasn't stories that I was in love with, but they were doing their thing. But I think it's a proper send off. Now, Obid, not to change subject, but did you get to watch the Shazam trailer, the new one that came out today?
not the one
Came out
today,
today.
no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So don't watch it because it seems like it's spoiling everything. It feels like the Doomsday Batman versus Superman trailer. Do you remember
Oh
this?
no, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Where it was like when they had that is dropped and
yeah.
and I after I watched it, I was like, okay, like this is where Warner is getting really desperate. Like they're showing how they really they'll market it to assume that it's just gonna make money. And look, there's things I saw at Comic-Con with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, that they haven't shown in these other trailers.
Hmm.
They already got me in. I'm good. I don't need to see anymore. But you know there's gonna be surprises that they haven't shown
Yeah.
yet, right? Um, this trailer was so badly put together, because it's just showing too much. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe there's something in there that I didn't know of that's going to be really huge, ground shaking, groundbreaking, right? That's like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, they actually did hold out the best. And if they did that, then great. Then that trailer's fine, because it just, did everything but that huge moment. But yeah, it made me think of Batman vs Superman days when they kind of shot themselves in the foot, kind of how the same way Sony did, right, with the Amazing Spider-Man,
Yeah.
where they messed themselves up by marketing it so much that the movie didn't perform as well as it probably could have.
Yeah. No, totally.
Um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I haven't watched Doom Patrol other than I really don't know much other than what it was featured on Titans, and I thought the last season of Titans wasn't that bad. Like it was actually enjoyable. Yeah,
yeah. No,
it's like
I agree. It
I mean,
probably was probably the
again. I
best
have
seasons actually.
I have problems with the casting all over the place, but from like not only that one obvious one that everyone keeps pointing, right? But
Sure,
I have problems with other things like
100%.
other casting choices. Bruce Wayne and all that.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. So, um, but I enjoyed it, right? And it's like I gave it a chance, and you can tell that there was an effort, and I enjoyed the last season. It wasn't anything mind blowing. It was like super cliche and all that, but you know, it was fine. I mean, I wasn't offended by it. And it's like I've seen way worse TV shows.
Oh, sure,
Which, by the
sure.
way, I didn't mention, but like Last of Us, the second episode again. Oh my goodness, dude! It's like
Bread theory.
these guys are.
Bread. See this?
Oh yeah. Well, that's it got confirmed.
I know.
It was that
I know.
yeah.
I heard
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, very good stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're not saying. Well, we could compare it, right? Because these are WB shows, right?
They're adaptations.
Because in one hand you got The Last of Us, right? And then on
Yep.
the other hand, you have this guy's. So
Tight.
truly,
Yeah.
what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing is like the question is for the producers, right? We know that Neil Druckmann's involved in producing, and he's in there, and you got the people that respect the intellectual property and the property itself,
Got
and
the
the
person who made
story.
Chernobyl.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
So
great people.
yeah, so when you have that kind of backing, you know that you're not gonna get turned away. So it's WB is very strange. It's very Chapek-y,
Yeah.
but we'll come back to that. I guess whenever we get news, because it seems to happen every week where we talk about WB.
Seriously.
So yeah, Joe, what we got? Short and sweet, still pretty
Absolutely.
good.
Absolutely. No, no, for sure, for sure. Everyone, thank you so much for sticking with us. We invite you to stay connected to No Load Time. A lot of great stuff coming up this year. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast on podcast platforms of your choice. Places like Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, Apple Music. Find us on your podcast platform of choice. Hit that subscribe, follow us there. Also, you can write us a review on these podcast platforms. Obed and I, we do not get a cent. As much as we joked about the PlayStation money, we don't get a cent from doing this
I,
stuff.
I wish I could get a DualSense Edge to review, man. I would give you an
Just
honest review
for science, for
for
science.
science. Yeah.
But look, we're not asking you guys to send us money. We're just asking you to support us by hitting that subscribe button, by following us, and writing a review. That way other people can see and get exposure to the show. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're putting out our videos of our live recordings out there. You also can follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. You also can follow us on Twitch, No Load Time Altogether. We broadcast live our episodes there. And last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, we'd love to hear from you. And you can send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to being with you on our next episode. Where Obed, we gotta have a WB. What are you doing next week? Because James Gunn said that this month, which we're at the time of recording, this is January 26th. At this moment, we have not heard what chapter 1 of the new DC universe is. We must have updates going into our next week's episode, so stick with us, folks.
Yep, for sure. Thank you guys. Stay safe. We will see you again next time.